Creating an MP3. Okay, so what I've got open right now is iTunes, and my disk was popped out into the last video. So I'm just going to scoot it on in there. There we go. And it's going to pop up here in iTunes in just a moment. And what iTunes is going to do is it's going to start accessing the Grace Note database, which is where the information about the track names on CDs is located. And it's not going to be able to find anything because our CD was just created and they don't know what the names of the tracks are because we haven't told them what they are yet. In a minute, we're going to actually upload the names of these tracks. But right now, before we import them, we don't want to import them as track 1 and track 2. We want to import them as their correct names. So if we hit Command I in this circumstance, go to Info. Our track 1 is called This Too Shall Pass. It's Mile High Chapter. We'll just do 2010 on that. And our album is going to be called Audio Mixing Essentials. And our genre will be gospel. There it is. And we can just hit next and we'll go to the next one. This one's Night Train to Cairo. The artist is Scott. The year's 2010. And the album is the same thing. Audio Mixing Essentials. Just copy that. Go to the previous one, make sure the names are the same. There we go. And then the genre, we'll go ahead and put it as rock alternative. Hit OK. And now you can see, there we go. We've got our album name and everything in place. And now we just want to import the CD. So if we go to import settings here, which we can also get to this through the preferences, we can say, well, we want to do AAC, Apple lossless, MP3, or keep it as WAV or something like that. But we're going to do MP3 right now. And we could go 192, 128. I have it set to custom at 320 kilobits per second. And really the higher the better. If you keep it at a higher bit rate, you're keeping more of that information. So we'll do it at 320, hit OK, and just hit import CD. Okay, so now you can hear the CD fire back up. And so it's going to go through and import these. And so right now it's taking the files and it's converting them to 320 kilobit per second MP3s. Now, once we're done importing these, we're going to take this CD, and now that we've named the tracks and everything, we're going to upload the naming of this CD into the Grace Note database. So what will happen is, if I take this CD and I put it on another computer with iTunes on it, it's going to go in there and it's going to access that Grace Note database, and it's going to look at some things on the CD, like what the track lengths are and some of the metadata and such, and it's going to figure out, okay, where's my match to this in my database, my Grace Note database, and it's going to find the match and say, okay, well, this first song is called This Too Shall Pass, and the second one's called Night Train to Cairo, and it will pull that up. And so this way, if you do this on your album, you can make people pretty impressed with what you're doing. So did you hear that there? That means that we've imported those successfully, and now we're going to go ahead and do what I was just talking about. If I go to the Advanced tab, I can say Submit CD Track Names, and I'm going to just say various artists here, and leave that Audio Mixing Essentials. And if I hit OK, it's just going to upload this information. I do have to choose a genre. I'll just do alternative and punk. And now it's telling me that it's successfully sent the information to Grace Note CDDB service. And now, like I said, if I take this CD and put it on another computer, I put it in there, it's going to access the Grace Note database, and it's going to pull up this exact same information, and will look just like this on anybody else's computer. if I pull the CD in there. Okay, now let's go ahead and pull up our album here. So there's our mixing essentials, and here's our first track. And you'll notice right towards the end here, we're going to have it cross over into the other one. There's going to be a little gap here because of the way that our iTunes session is set up. Just a little teeny pop there. But actually playing off the CD, you wouldn't get that. Okay, and so now we have this kind of seamless transition from one song to the next. And at any time, if we just click on that song, it's going to start right there as the lead guitar comes in. But there we go. Now we've made MP3 versions. If we scroll over, we see there's the 320 kilobits per second. And we've also uploaded our information to the Grace Note database so our CD can pull up the track names on any iTunes. And that is creating an MP3.